Hello YouTube, I want to help you get your week started off right by teaching you how to accept payments via Stripe integration on your Wix website. So yes, to answer a quick question right off the bat, this means that you can accept physical credit cards on your website using Stripe as the payment processor. I will look to make more videos via PayPal integration as another method and outlet, but before that, we're going to hit Stripe. And that leads me to another topic. Stripe is very wonderful, and there's so many variations of accepting payments via Stripe on your Wix website. So I'm going to show you this basic version today, and as time goes on, I'm going to keep releasing a couple more advanced versions of Stripe integration on your website. Now, before we get into the meat of the video, let's first click that subscribe button below the video and turn notifications on for this channel. YouTube gets a little glitchy sometimes, and I don't want you to have to miss Wix Code content like this if your notifications aren't turned on. Secondly, to access the code we use in this video today, you're going to come over to wixtrainingacademy.com. Guys, this is the Wix Training Academy, absolutely free, that I built out for you. And once there, link in the description below, by the way, you're going to click on Academy. Now, I'm already logged in, but if you're a new member, it's going to prompt you to log in. And then you can either book a strategy session call with me or head over to where we're going to be today, Access the Academy. Once in there, you'll be redirected to your dashboard. In here is where you can access all the gold mines of content. Go through here, mess around with it, go through the content, learn more about Wix, Wix Code, all this great stuff. But to find the code snippets for today, you're going to click this code snippets button right over here. Once you click that, you're going to see, refresh the page here. There we go. You're going to see Stripe payment integration. So you can see video tutorial coming soon. That is this. To get the code, you simply press get code, and then a light box will appear. And these are the different styles of code we're going to be using for today's video. So let's hop into the video with that note. So again, all of these will be the different versions of code we use in the video. Now, we're going to hop over here to the editor. I created a little test site that we're going to use to actually test this information. Before setting up the code end of things, we have to set up the front end payment details, I guess you could call it. So to do this, you have to make sure, one, your Wix Code tools are on. So if it says turn off developer tools, that means they're on. You can see the site structure, page code down here, and properties panel. So we want to make sure they're on, and once we do that, we're going to click add. We're going to go up here to user input. Bam, we're going to add an input. Now, I'm just going to duplicate this same input throughout. I'm not going for any design here. I'm going to show you strictly the functionality and how to make this happen. So I'm going to drag this out a little bit. So that's going to be our amount. I'm going to copy and paste. This will be our payment description, and I'll explain these more in a few minutes. This will be our cardholder name. This will be our actual card number. Keep it about that. We'll copy that. Then this is going to be our CVC, or the security. Then we're going to get a month and a year, and that is expiration month, expiration year. And I will kind of show you how that rolls here in a second. Bingo. Bingo. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to come here and name the fields. So now that you drag them out, you have one right here, double click, for amount. So this amount field is the field that people will actually be able to input the amount. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you that version. So this is where you physically put the amount in right there, and then the description in as well, and the card details are then added down here. But there's going to be another version of the video I show you where you actually set up a list of products and all of that, and people can click whatever product it is and then purchase from there. But I'm going to show you this version today. Now, next, we're going to have the description. So this is the description of whatever the product or service is. And then we're going to have our cardholder name. And then we're going to have our actual card number. we're going to have our CVC, and then we're going to have our month, expiration month, so we'll just put X month, and then also expiration year, which has to be in the form of 4 digits. So you could go like this right next to it if you want, so people know it's 4 digits. Okay, so now we have all of our fields correctly set up here. We have them laid out. The next thing we need to do is add a button in here, but I'm going to show you the button after I show you this initial code. So now that we have our fields properly laid out, I want to address something. You're probably asking, so what's the practical application on this one? So this would be a good tool to use if you're, accepting like a pay what you want type of model. So they put in the amount that they want, and they could add a payment description if they want, so they have a statement of that. Or you can even use it for your own credit inputting. So maybe you take a credit card over the phone. Well, this is where you can put the amount of whatever your product or service is, the description of it, so that way you get the description of whatever your product or service is that you're performing, and then you put the card holder or the card information in over the phone. So this is also a valid method if you're accepting payments over the phone instead of having to go straight through a process or anything like that where you have to go through, find it, create a product, do all that. You can do it right here on your website, and then I'll show you in different versions of the video how you could integrate that maybe into a client dashboard or a client portal, so that way they can input their payment amount if they, you have a predetermined agreed amount per month or per this or per X or per Y that they can put in and pay right there through their payment portal. So there's a lot of practical uses here. I just wanted to address that because some of you are in the back of your mind are probably thinking, well, why does the client or the front end customer have the ability to put in the amount or description? Well, this is more the back end type of thing, or clients that you have predetermined amounts or taking payments over the phone. So those are the applications of this style of integration through Stripe. Now, before we add the button, we're going to go add the page code. So let's come in here to the Wix Training Academy and copy this page code right here. We're going to grab that. We're going to enlarge our page code here, and then we're simply going to paste it in. Now we see some major spacing here. That's okay. I'm just going to fix the spacing. Is it necessary? No, but it's necessary for me. I just like things to be nice and neat. Okay. All right, so now we've got our code here. What we have to do is we change a few items on here, and it's very, very easy to do. In fact, what I'm even going to do is I'm going to take out these functions and show you how to actually create the functions yourself, because everybody's button is going to be a little different. So I don't want to have those predetermined for you. I'll just show you how to do it. Okay, so we've got our code here. And like I said, there's a few items on here we're going to change. We're not going to change anything up here at the top of the code. What we are going to change is these fields here. Well, it says name, number, CVC, expiration year, expiration month. So what we need to do is actually use our properties panel. So if we click on input here, you see our code properties panel over here, ID. So you need to change this to whatever ID you want. If you want to follow exactly as I did, it may help you out a bit, and it may make your life a little easier if you use the same exact IDs as me, so that way you really don't have to change your code too much. But if you want to change the IDs that are something more recognizable to you, that's completely up to you. Now, we're going to go in here to ID, and I'm going to change amount to AMT. I'm going to change description to DESC. I'm going to change cardholder name to CNAME, card number to CNumber, CVC to CVC, expiration month to month, expiration year to year. Now, if for some reason you guys are going to do expiration year, remember you'd go EXP and then capital year. but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do year. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I want to get these ones out of here. These were my previous example when I was testing it out myself. I'm going to remove these options here, so that way they don't take up those properties that I had. So that was my test. You got to see my test of it. So now that we get our actual properties laid out and our field IDs laid out, what we need to do is we need to go back here. So this is what needs to happen. Where it says name, that is the cardholder name. Well, I put namer. We don't want namer. That is the name right there. So what you're going to do is you're going to do hashtag, and whatever the name is on your ID, that's the one you're going to correlate it to. And that's what you're going to put right here. You just change that name. You don't remove the hashtag, don't remove those quotation marks. You need all of that. So you strictly come in here and change the name to whatever your field ID is. Now my field IDs are already as follows. However, if you have different ones, you follow them exactly as your field ID is. That's what you'll put in here. So if your CVC is something else, or your expiration year is X year, as I used in that example, you need to put that right here. Mine are all already laid out. So once those are done and you've made sure those correctly identify with your IDs, you're going to scroll down one more time, and you're going to see another little set here. You're going to see amount. So again, if your amount is AMT, you use AMT right here. You don't have to change anything else but that. Your currency, in this case, it's USD. If you're a euro, it's EUR. If it's British pounds, it's GBP. But in this case, I'm in the United States, we use USD, so you're going to put the currency. Whatever currency you're using, you need to find that 3-digit currency code. This is so Stripe knows what currency in the back end they're paying with. Again, in this case, it's USD, and then description here. Mine is DEC or DESC, so I change it to description right there. So once those are done, and you made sure that they are correctly correlating with your IDs, we have a few things to do. We have to, one, add a button for our actual charge. So we have to be able to charge the card. So we're going to add a button here, and I'm just going to name it charge card. So our button's going to be charge card. I'm going to change the ID right here to charge card. Now, what needs to happen, and these are those functions I was telling you about, is when someone clicks this button, a function has to be carried out. So you're going to come on here, or come click charge card, and then you're going to see over on your properties panel, on click. So you're going to click this little plus button, on click, and then you're going to hit enter or return, depending if you have a Mac or PC. And then you're going to see your function added here. It's then added to your code. Now, we're not done. You then have to come in here where it says add your code to this event, and we're going to change it. We're simply going to write pay now, and then we're going to add the parentheses and a semicolon right there. That's all you have to do for that in particular code. Again, I have these codes listed in the Wix Training Academy, but you need to know that if your if your ID for your buttons are different than the code that I provided you, it's not going to work. So you need to make sure that you do these on-click events, or you copy the code exactly as is from Wix Training Academy and make sure the buttons are ID'd exactly as mine are ID'd. So that's an important thing to note here. So once you do that, you have the change card click event, okay? Our charge card click event. We then have to add another function, this amount. Once again, you're going to come over here to properties, except this time you're going to click on change, and you're going to do that, and you're going to hit again enter or return, and it's going to add the function down here. We're going to Once again, add some code in between here. It's going to be very simple. You're going to simply write change state. And you'll see Wix has some intelligence in there, so it knows to carry that function out. Another note, remember, the second word always starts with a capital letter. In these parentheses, yes, they are staying empty. You don't have to put anything in there. Once you add one parentheses, it'll auto do the two. You don't need to change anything else. And then again, you add your semicolon. We're going to do that one more time, except this one is going to be for the description. We're going to come over here. We're going to click on change, and then we're going to hit enter or return, depending on Mac or PC. Bam. Then it is added, and we're going to come in here one more time, and we're going to add our code. Once again, for this one, it's change state, and then we add our semicolon at the end. Now, change state, that means it is a variable, which means it'll change depending on what's inputted in those fields. If you input $5 or if you input $10, it'll depend. That's why you write a change state function. Now the pay now function actually carries out the payment to Stripe. So that is the pay now function. These are very simple to do, but I need you to know that if you copy the code straight from the Wix Training Academy, you have to make sure that these functions are carried out on yours as well. In fact, I may even just take these functions out of the code in the Wix Training Academy, and you could follow along just like I showed you, so that way I know and you know that it's set up correctly for whatever the IDs and names are for your buttons and your change state functions as well. So now that that is done, our page code is complete. The next thing we have to do is very easy. We're going to go over here to public. We're going to add a public code. So we're going to click this little plus button, and we're going to just, well, we'll just say add new file. And we're going to name this file Stripe API, just like that. And then click enter or return. We're going to delete the code that's in there, and we're going to go back to Wix Training Academy, and we're going to get the public code. We're going to copy it, and then we're going to come back here, and we're going to paste it in. Now, the only thing you have to change in this code right here, it's very simple, very easy, is your API. So, this is when we're actually going to go into Stripe, all right? Very simple here. So, that is a predeterminate here. You have to have a Stripe account, of course. So, this is the Stripe dashboard. I'm going to go down here to the Developers tab. You can see right here, I have clicked on Viewing Testing Data. If you click that off, it is live. If you click it on, it gives you testing data. Then what you're going to do is you're going to come in here to API keys. So these are your account's testing API keys. So you need to come in here and do the same thing for your Stripe account. This publishable key is your public code key. So you're going to take this and copy it. Again, the publishable key is your public key. So this is the one we're going to put right here where it says your API here for your public API key. That's all you have to do for the public. Now we need to add a backend code. So we're going to click add new web module. And this one we're going to name Stripe Proxy. Hit enter or return depending on PC or Mac. And then we're going to go back to the Wix Training Academy and get the back-end code. Now, whoops, very simple here. Just like public, we're going to come back here, we're going to paste it, and once again, we don't change anything except our API key. Now, when you're in Stripe, it says secret key here. The reason being is this key should never be shown or revealed to anyone. This is your secret account API key. Granted, we are in testing mode, so this isn't the live key. The live key is different than the testing, but don't ever give this API key to someone because that gives them straight access to your account. So you're going to press reveal key token here. I'm going to block mine out in the video, but you're going to get the key. and then we're going to go ahead and copy and paste it once again where it says your API here. We add it, and then we're going to press save. Now, if we go back to Stripe testing, we're going to go ahead and test it out. We're going to see and make sure our code has worked. So I'm going to go to preview. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in Stripe test cards. So Stripe provides you a couple cards for testing. I'm going to go grab one of the fake card, or I shouldn't say fake, testing card numbers that Stripe provides. I'm just going to simply take this one right here. The rest of the data I could make up in the editor. So we just need the card testing number. And you have to make sure your Stripe account is in testing mode. Once you do that, we can go back to the editor. We're going to choose amount. I'm just going to put 5. Description, testing. Cardholder name, well, people say these new glasses made me look like Harry Potter. So, Harry Potter. And then card number, this is when we're going to use that Stripe card number that they provided. CVC, you could put any random one you want in here. So, 750. Expiration month, we'll just say 11. Expiration year, 2022. Now, if we click Charge Card, we're going to see something happen right here in our developer console. Perfect. Okay, so now what happened is, this is the token, this is the charge ID. This means that our card went through. Now, this is for testing purposes. So, if you're in your live Stripe account and you don't want testing on, that is what you will use to actually accept payments. So these API keys right here are your testing API keys when you click viewing testing data. If you turn this off, it turns into your live API keys. We can see that the charge went through, again, testing mode, by going to logs. We can see, it'll load here. Just wait for it to go through. For some reason it didn't want to load. Okay, so we can see these charges went through. It happened on 8/18, which is the day I'm recording, and it came through here, and it says 500 there, but that's $5, and we can go back to our home, and we can see $10. So I did a test before this video for $5, and a test now for $5. So this is the testing data right here that you can see. If we turn this off, we can see our live amount is $0. So make sure you are aware of that. Do not post your testing API keys to your live site if you want to accept live payments. I was showing you the testing version so that way you can test it out before you publish a live version. But to get your live version, you do the same steps except you take off view test data and you make sure that is not checked on. But to test it, you click that and you can see your testing data shows up for your testing amount. Now, let me show you one last thing. You will know that the card payment failed, and I'll show you how that'll work. We're in testing. I'm going to just change this number to 53 and mess up the card number that Stripe provided. Watch what will happen in our developer console. Aha. You see charge ID undefined. This means that the charge had not gone through. It also says right here, error, incorrect number, which means the card number was incorrect. That's how you know that the card did not work. So if you're testing it, there's a correct version right here, the card token, charge ID, and it shows you the 2 right here. And here's the incorrect. It'll provide you the error code, and it'll say charge ID undefined. That is how you set up your Stripe integration in Wix. Guys, I hope this video helped you out. If it did, drop a like down below. I love you guys for that, and I love that you guys are enjoying this content. Secondly, subscribe down below as well and turn on notifications for all new videos. And last but not least, make sure you head over to Wix Training Academy and go get the code snippet for this video. And also, you have access to a bunch of fantastic content. You have a library full of content here. And you have resources, masterminds, community. By the way, our first live mastermind is going to be Tuesday, August 21st. So this video will actually be published Monday. So tomorrow is going to be our first live mastermind. So if you get in here, you'll be able to ask some fantastic questions that I'm going to answer on that live mastermind meeting. And just come over here and check everything out. This is awesome free Wix content for you guys, and I hope you're enjoying it. Comment if you have any questions at all. I'm here to help you out. And once again, I just want to go on a reminder that I showed you the testing API version today in Stripe. Make sure you switch to live version when you actually publish your live site. I need to make that clear because I don't want you guys to post and publish your website with some testing keys from Stripe. You can toggle in between live and testing in your Stripe dashboard. Very easy, as you saw. And make sure that you have correctly copied the code and that you do those button on-click events in your change state events correct for your in particular field and your button. Other than that, guys, you're set up, ready to start accepting credit cards on your website. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.